Hi, I'm Jim Bergeron, pastor at Holy Cross Lutheran Church in Houston, Texas. This is a sermon for the fifth Sunday of Lent in the C series. $2,000 an ounce? Welcome to the price of gasoline next year. Meanwhile, understand that this is the estimated cost of the perfumed oil called nard that Mary anointed Jesus' feet with, and then rubbed in and wiped with her hair. $32,000 for the pound of oil that she used. I must give thanks to the Reverend Janet Tetzlaff for her theological research into fragrances, then and now. She is a priest of Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Winchester, Kentucky, and she found a fragrance of equivalent price available in today's market for royalty only. The Clive Christian Perfumery, nestled halfway between London, northwest to Birmingham, developed Clive Christian No. 1 Imperial Majesty perfume. It comes in a hand-blown, nest-polished Baccarat crystal bottle that holds 16.9 ounces of eau de parfum. The neck of the bottle is banded with an 18-karat gold collar, into which is nested a 5-karat white diamond. 10 bottles were made. If you're allowed to buy one, it will be delivered to your door in a Bentley. It will set you back only $435,000. This is the perfume that Katie Holmes wore at her wedding to Tom Cruise. Sold simply as No. 1, you can get a small 2-ounce bottle for only $4,300, which is $2,150 an ounce, in line with the Mary Martha budget of burial costs, first for Lazarus and then unused for Jesus. Today's gospel is a continuation of the 11th chapter of John, which is the story of the raising of Lazarus from the dead, Jesus' final miraculous sign in the Gospel of John. This account is the longest coherent narrative in John, except for the Passion of Christ. It covers a whole chapter plus some, a total of 68 verses. And all those verses describe the pivotal events that led directly to Jesus' death within 2 weeks. The death and resurrection of Lazarus foreshadow the death and resurrection of Jesus. The cast of characters is limited and telling. There are lovers and there are haters. Those whose lives are informed and enhanced by love are Mary, Martha, Lazarus, of course, Jesus. Those whose lives find meaning and fulfillment in hatred are Judas, the Pharisees, the chief priests, who seek the death of love through political manipulation. Conspicuously absent are Jesus' executive committee that goes with him everywhere. Peter, James, and John. Where are they? Plus the other disciples, some brave, some afraid, most busy with the upcoming Passover pilgrimage and preparation. The dinner at Lazarus' home, celebrating his new miraculous life and honoring Jesus' beloved friend and family, is less than 2 weeks out from his death on the cross. And during dinner, Mary pours $32,000 worth of oil on Jesus' feet and massages it in with her hair. Let's talk about the nard. You can't just order it and get it. It's not click and collect. The Bethany Whale Walmart doesn't carry it. You can't even get it at the Jerusalem Naaman Marcus. Having it in your home is a pre-death burial plan. Lazarus was sick, maybe chronically, thus stimulating the occasion for Martha and Mary to honor their brother by importing the best for his eternal rest. The plant from which nard is extracted grows in the Himalayas, Shipping from Delhi, India would cost extra, would take about 100 days, but then it would be there for the possibility of one or more deaths in the family. It becomes clear that Lazarus is sick unto death, and Jesus is summoned. It takes a day for Jesus to get the word. He wraps up his work in 2 days, and it takes a day to get back to Bethany. He's 4 days out from the fearful message to come home. Of course, they believed he could heal Lazarus and that he would, but he was too late. Lazarus died, and according to custom, was buried that day, but, well, maybe temporarily. He wasn't anointed because the sisters believed, hoping beyond all hope, that Jesus could still do something. And maybe their brother was comatose, not dead. They still held on to their faith. They still believed Jesus can do something. But putrefaction began, and they needed to put his body somewhere until Jesus arrived. He was put in the tomb, just not pronounced dead. Therefore, he was not embalmed, and by the 4th day it was too late. At least a pound of nard is a solid investment for the future. We know Jesus raised Lazarus. Word got around fast. The Pharisees got wind of it, called a council meeting, and ruled that Jesus has to die. Raising Lazarus is just too much. They had all kinds of questions. Is Lazarus really alive? Is it really him or an imposter? How did he look? Did he walk or talk or eat? What did he say? What was it like in the tomb? Was he a ghost? They needed intelligence, data. Judas was an insider, and he could be bought. He'll spy for them. Judas is definitely a fifth wheel at that celebration gathering of family. Maybe he was related in some way, but he couldn't have been cozily welcome. Jesus already called him a devil in John 6:70. In today's gospel, John simply calls him a thief. He embezzles to support the poor, a code name for the revolutionaries and rebels that he aligns himself with when he's not taking Pharisee silver. That nard would have helped his war chest, and Jesus will agree, certainly. How could he object? There's another temptation from the devil. The Wittenberg Door, a satirical magazine, described a politically correct response that Jesus could have made. Those poor rebels, of course. You're right. What was I thinking of? Here, let's see if we can scrape some of it off my toes for them. Judas didn't care. Mary knew it. She was saying something very significant with her action. First, women don't let their hair down in mixed company, that is, around any men other than family. Secondly, feet are never anointed, heads are. Feet simply washed with water. Feet also are only touched by you if they're your feet, or your slave will touch your feet if you pay extra. And fourthly, it's inconceivable that anyone would even think of bathing feet with oil and massaging the oil in with their hair. This far exceeds good taste, not even having risen to the level of intimate custom. You can't hear this story without raising an eyebrow. If this happened to any bishop in this city, they would be scrambling backwards in a panic. It is tactile and olfactory intimacy. You know, if you're uncomfortable with something, you can close your eyes and just not look. But you can't close your ears to words of love or hate. You can't close your nose to the invasive smell of Lazarus' death or the beloved fragrance of Jesus' feet. You can't turn off the feeling of your body massaged by Mary's hair or pierced through the wrist by nails. Deep hate is made to look ridiculous by deep love. Jesus is anointed by Mary. It's a message from God. She's a prophetess and a leader. She assumes a role for Jesus that only men perform. Women don't anoint men. Men anoint men. Samuel anoints Saul to be Israel's first king. And then after that, he anoints David. Male popes anoint male emperors. Male priests anoint during the last rites. Mary has taken on the role of high priest and prophet. During this time, when Jesus' immediate future is out of his control, at least until Easter Sunday, her beautiful scent carries us through the ugly crucifixion, where Jesus is lifted up so that he might attract all to himself with the high priestly scent of forgiveness. John 12:32. She has honored Jesus extravagantly. Affection for Jesus is devotion and worship. Amen.